Hello friends, in this video we are going to see what is a data type and the different types of data types in Python. Data type means the type of data that you are storing in a variable. For example, a is equals to 5. So 5 is an integer. So the type of the variable is int or integer. Now if I write a is equals to Kavya, this is a string. So the type of the variable is string data type. So data type means the type of the variable. It depends upon the value which we are storing in the variable. Now, there are different types of data types are there. Numbers, none, sequence, sets, mapping, integer, Boolean, floating point, complex. So, integer, Boolean, floating point and complex comes under the numbers. So, number data types means it stores numerical value. Here integer is a number, boolean means true or false. They are also numbers, floating point with decimal values, complex numbers. Now none, sequence, string, tuple and list. Then these three comes under the sequence data type. Then sets. After that mapping and dictionary comes under the mapping. So these are the different types of data types. Now we'll see all these in detail. So I'm going to wrap this. So first we'll see the number data type. So in the number data type means the number or numerical values are stored in the variable. Now first we'll see what is an int or integer data type. The first data type which we are going to see in detail is the int or integer data type. So integer means in mathematics what is an integer? Means negative numbers, 0 and positive numbers, right? Example is minus 5, then 0, then 6 to 5. Okay, so all the negative numbers, all the positive numbers including 0 are called integers. Now if you are storing an integer value in a variable, for example a is equals to minus 5 or a is equals to 365 or a is equals to minus 526 or a is equal to 0. So these are all integer values. So the data type of a is integer data type or int data type. I hope this is clear for you. This is very easy. Only understand one thing, that if you are storing an integer value, then the type of that variable is integer data type. Now let's see the next example. Float or floating point. Float or floating point. Here we are considering the decimal part also. For example, minus 5.25. We have a decimal part 0.25. Then 0.25 we have a decimal part. Then 625.35 or 356. Here we have a decimal part. So if the decimal part is there, then it's called a floating point data type. For example, if a is equals to minus 5.25. So here there is a decimal part. So the type of the variable is floating point. If there is no decimal part, then it is an integer data type. So all the negative numbers, 0 and positive number have a decimal part. If they have a decimal part, then it's a floating type Data type. The variable is floating type. The type of the variable is floating type. So next take another example. Complex data type or complex numbers. So an example for a complex number is x plus 5 or 2 plus 5j. Here 2 is the real part and 5j is the imaginary part. So I can write like this. Print. If I am writing x is equals to 2 plus 5j, then x dot real part, comma, x dot imaginary part. That means img, imaginary part. So you'll get the answer 2.0 and 5.0. So this is the real part and the imaginary part. We are printing the real part and we are printing the imaginary part. X equals to 2 plus 5j or y is equal to 4 minus 2j. So in a complex number has two parts, real part and imaginary part. So such numbers, here the data type of the variable x is the complex data type. Okay, so I think this is clear for you. Then next data type is str data type, or we'll say this is string data type. Now let's take an example like x is equals to Manu. So Manu is a string because you can see that it is in double quotes. The string is stored in the variable x. So the type of the variable x is str or string data type. Now, for example, another example name. Name is equals to Nesa. Here, a Nesa is a string and it is stored in the variable name. So, when a string is stored in the variable, then the type of the variable is string data type. Again, so we have discussed four data types: int, float, complex numbers, strings. Now we'll see about the Boolean data type. Boolean means there are two values, true or false. Boolean data type. Bool or we can say Boolean. So it has two values, true or false. For example, if I write x is equals to 6 greater than 10. Actually 6 is not greater than 10, right? So if I print x, I'll get the answer false. False. So this is a Boolean value. The type of this variable is Boolean because x6 greater than 10. The answer is stored with the value. The answer of the value stored in the variable x is false. We are printing false. False is printed. So the type of this variable is Boolean data type. Suppose if I am writing y is equals to 10 greater than 6. 10 greater than 6 is true. So the value stored in the y is true. So print y. That means I'll get the answer true. So we can say that y is a Boolean data type. Now let's take the next variable. The next variable is none. N-O-N-E, none. None is actually a special data type. Okay, let me write that. It's a special data type. So the speciality is that the absence of value. None does not have any value. So for example, if I write A is equal to 20 and B is equals to none. None is capital letter N, okay? None. Then I can print A. Print A. I'll get the value 20, right? But if I print B, What is B? B is none. So I won't get any answer. Okay, so the answer is none. None. So none is a special data type. Now, let me tell you, like if you want to see the type of the variable, then you have a function called a type function. We have already seen this function, type function. With the help of this type function, you can choose or you can find out the type of the variable. Okay, like I will show you the example. Let me take the ideal. Ideal is integrated development learning environment where I am writing the program. Okay, now with the help of the type function, I'll show you the types. A equals to 10. Okay, then I'm writing type A. Here you can see that class int, that means the type of the variable A is integer data type. Now I am writing A is equals to 10.35, so which is a decimal value, which is having a decimal value. So I am typing type type A. Then here you can see that the class is float or floating type. So we have studied that if there is a decimal value with it can be negative value or positive numbers or negative numbers with a decimal part, then the type of that variable is float. It's a floating point. Now next take another. If A is equals to hush, it's a name. Then print A, not print A, type of A. So you can see that class str. The type of the variable A is str because hush is a name. Next, A is equals to 6 greater than 10. Okay, here we are comparing. So 6 is not greater than 10. So the false is stored in the variable A. So type A equals to bool. Bool means Boolean data type. A is equals to stored with the value none. N-O-N-E. None is a special data type, which means the absence of value. Now type of A. So it's a none type. The data type is none type. Okay. Then I'll show the complex data type. Okay. So A is equals to 2 plus 5j. Complex numbers have two parts, real part and imaginary part. Now, type of A. The type of A is complex. So, I think this video is clear for you. So, in this video, we have discussed some of the common data types of Python. So, data types means the type of the data. Okay, if you are storing an integer data, then the type of the variable is integer data type. So data type means the particular type. It depends upon the value which you are storing in the variable. See here you are storing a decimal value. So the type of A is float type. So you can use the type function to find out the type of the variable. So I think this video is helpful for you. Thank you. Keep watching.